Are we really doing this again? Are we still talking about trading Kyle Pitts? Even after what we saw in Week 1, it feels like Groundhog Day for Falcons fans, doesn't it? Just when we start to see glimmers of hope, just when a connection begins to blossom on the field, the trade rumors inevitably rear their head, casting a shadow over what should be pure excitement. But let's be honest, the latest whispers linking our $32 million tight end to the New York Jets and Washington Commanders feel less like a legitimate threat and more like a desperate attempt to stir the pot. And frankly, it's getting a little tiresome. Welcome back to the channel, Falcons faithful. Today, we're diving headfirst into the swirling vortex of trade speculation that has once again engulfed Kyle Pitts. You'd think after a promising Week 1 performance, the narrative would shift to his resurgence, his integral role in our offense. Instead, we're left dissecting hypothetical scenarios about him donning another team's colors. It's enough to make you pull your hair out, isn't it? But let's break down why these rumors, while attention-grabbing, are likely nothing more than smoke and mirrors, and why Kyle Pitts remains firmly entrenched in Atlanta's future, at least for now. The latest round of speculation comes courtesy of Christopher Knox from Bleacher Report, who, in his infinite wisdom, decided to kick off Week 2 by highlighting potential trade candidates. And lo and behold, Kyle Pitts found himself on a list hypothetically linked to the New York Jets and Washington Commanders. Now I get it, it's the NFL. Trade season is always simmering, and the November 4th deadline feels both distant and perpetually on the horizon. But the timing, the context, and the sheer audacity of suggesting a trade for a player who just showed significant chemistry with his new quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., is, to put it mildly, perplexing. Let's consider the Jets' side of this equation for a moment. Knox suggests they might be interested, and on the surface you could squint and see why. Their offense, with Justin Fields at the helm, Breece Hall running wild, and Garrett Wilson proving to be a nightmare for opposing corners, looked surprisingly potent in Week 1 against the Steelers. They didn't get the win, but the signs were there. A dynamic, revamped attack that felt miles away from their struggles last year. Adding a talent like Kyle Pitts, a former top 5 pick with a 1,000-yard rookie season under his belt, would theoretically give Fields another elite weapon. Imagine the mismatches. The defensive coordinators losing sleep trying to cover Wilson, Hall, and Pitts. It's a fun thought, a fantasy football manager's dream. However, reality often has a way of crashing the party. The Jets just invested a second-round pick in rookie tight end Mason Taylor, who, by the way, snagged a 20-yard reception in his NFL debut. While one catch doesn't make a career, it signals an organizational commitment and a belief in his potential. Are the Jets really going to give up significant draft capital for a tight end when they just drafted one high, and when Pitts' rookie contract, a hefty $32 million deal, is set to expire after this season, making him an imminent free agent in 2026? That's a lot of financial and draft pick gymnastics for a team that has other pressing needs and a young tight end they're developing. It just doesn't add up to a realistic scenario for New York. Now let's pivot back to the Falcons, because that's where the heart of this story truly lies. Knox's projected trade value for Pitts is a 2026 third-round pick. A third-round pick for a player who, in his rookie season, became only the second tight end in NFL history to eclipse 1,000 receiving yards. A player who, despite a couple of injury-plagued and inconsistent seasons since, still possesses elite physical traits and undeniable upside. That valuation feels insulting, frankly, and completely out of touch with his true potential and the Falcons' investment. The narrative around Pitts has been a roller coaster since that incredible rookie year. We've seen flashes, moments of brilliance, but consistency has been elusive. Injuries, quarterback instability, and perhaps a less than ideal offensive scheme have all played a part. But Week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offered a fresh perspective. Even in a loss, the connection between Pitts and Michael Penix Jr. was palpable. 7 receptions for 59 yards on 8 targets. That's a significant chunk of the passing game, and it showcased a burgeoning chemistry that the Falcons desperately need to foster. Penix looked comfortable targeting Pitts, and Pitts looked engaged and effective. This wasn't just a stat line, it was a glimpse into what could be a foundational relationship for our offense for years to come. And that's precisely why the idea of trading Pitts right now is, as the article itself concedes, not very realistic. The Falcons, under a new coaching staff and with a new quarterback in Penix, are trying to build something. They're trying to compete for a playoff spot. You don't trade away one of your most talented offensive weapons, especially one who is clearly developing a rapport with your young franchise quarterback when you have legitimate aspirations. Why would you willingly dismantle a potential cornerstone of your passing game for a future third-round pick, particularly when that player is showing signs of returning to form? It would be an act of self-sabotage, a clear signal that the team is waving the white flag on the season before it's even truly begun. The Falcons have invested heavily in Pitts, not just with the 4th overall pick, but in their continued belief in his talent. To move him now, just as Penix is settling in and Pitts is demonstrating that he can still be a difference maker, would be a monumental miscalculation. It would send a terrible message to the locker room, to the fan base, and most importantly, it would strip Penix of a vital security blanket and a dynamic threat in the middle of the field. The team isn't going to be anxious to transfer one of Penix's favorite receivers while they're still eyeing the postseason. That's just common sense. So while the trade deadline will undoubtedly bring more whispers, more fun ideas from national reporters looking to generate clicks, let's approach these Kyle Pitts rumors with the skepticism they deserve. He's a Falcon, and he's showing every indication that he's ready to remind the league why he was such a highly touted prospect. His chemistry with Penix is a building block, not a bargaining chip. The Falcons are looking forward, not backward, and Kyle Pitts is a key part of that future. What do you all think about these persistent trade rumors? Are you as tired of them as I am? Or do you see a scenario where the Falcons might actually consider moving Pitts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you appreciate this deep dive into the Falcons world, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future breakdowns. We're here for the highs, the lows, and yes, even the frustratingly unrealistic trade speculation. Rise up, Falcons fans.